Welcome everyone to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. Joining us today is a super awesome fellow Bitcoiner and pleb, Bobo Dread, and he's gonna get in on the fun a little bit later, but right now we're gonna go off to the numbers. Drop us a like, subscribe. Okay, number time, let's do it.
Number time!
At the time of this recording, the block height is 694,380, the Bitcoin price 40,930. Chain rewrite days 1,051. Total public lightning capacity 2,171.45 BTC. Bitcoin versus gold market cap 6.52%, and sats per dollar, we're getting a little less of them, 2,443. Not bad.
Not bad. We're
Bad?
back above 40K. What could you say?
It's pretty crazy.
Just consolidating. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
The Daily Fail.
On an upcoming edition of Bloomberg Studio One, I spoke with the guy who wrote the original white paper leading to the creation of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, about what the upgrade really means. Take a listen to what he had to say.
There will not be any more mining. Ethereum's energy consumption will go down by like a factor of more than 1,000. So it'll go from being a big problem to basically not a problem at all.
Now, I also want to bring in the co-founder and CEO of Consensus, Joe Lubin, also a co-founder of Ethereum. Joe Weisenthal still with us. So, Joe Lubin, a lot to unpack there. But with this upgrade, there will be no more mining. Energy consumption will go down by a factor of 1,000. Is that what's really going to happen?
Yeah, that's correct. And it is indeed one step along a long roadmap. We think of it as a paradigm shift in how the world architects itself.
All right, we're not going to stick through the whole entire 8 minutes of that absolute crap. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't even believe I sat through the full 8 minutes to begin with. But look, essentially, you see what the language, you see what he did with the language, talking about how proof of work, the energy that's being used is a problem, and now they're solving the problem of proof of work, and they're going to go to proof of stake, right? Where the energy consumption isn't a problem anymore. That is just complete absolute garbage. Like that, like right there, already it has no hard cap. Already, we've gone through this, no hard cap, no way to verify the circulating supply or the total supply. It really doesn't make a difference what the supply of that token is, on top of the 70% pre-mine. So look, it's already a shitcoin, okay? Proof of work was maybe the last frickin' bastion to it that it had that didn't make it the most awful thing since fiat. But they're taking that away just to make it completely awful. And this new upgrade that they're doing to it, make no mistake, they're shooting the miners. They're giving the miners even less incentive. And if you actually read what they wrote about it, they even explain that they're architecting it in a way that the price of Ethereum should go up. This is their goal. Their goal is to pump the bag. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's the total definition of a shitcoin. I mean, like literally, that's what it is. Just a bag you pump. Nico.
No, you're spot on. And look, so first of all, two things, right? First thing is, look, you have the CEO of Ethereum, essentially, that's literally what he is, Vitalik, right? Going on and saying, I managed to change the entire protocol. That is not decentralized, man. The fact that he could do that and just change the protocol just willy-nilly, man, obviously, and look, another thing is that the establishment, the second thing I wanted to say is that the establishment supported this completely, right? He went on Bloomberg. Reuters came out with an article, same language, right? This is gonna lower the power consumption. This fits in with the ESG narrative and all the BS. And the reason the powers that be support this is because they can control proof of stake, and they're going to go hard at Bitcoin through this narrative, right? That Ethereum uses less energy, that blah, 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 it's more efficient, it's better for the environment, all that garbage, right? But at the end of the day, it's nefarious. They're saying those things because they know they can control a proof of stake system. Our current system is a proof of stake system, right? It's like proof of work was the innovation, right? Proof of work is what makes Bitcoin uncorruptible, right? And the cost of that is the expenditure of electricity, of energy, and that's a good thing. That is by design. That is a feature, not a bug. And Phil, when you said that, I was getting chills on my arms, bro, because this is an attack vector, and that's exactly why the mainstream propaganda arm is pushing it as hard as they are. Bobo?
Yeah, I mean, it's a scam, just like the US dollar. And, they see the mirror when they see Ethereum. So they're just pushing it as hard as they can, the same way they're pushing their US dollar bags on people. I mean, I'm really surprised to see this, to be honest with you. I thought they would at least have some shred of integrity to not publish a scam on Bloomberg. That was ridiculous.
100%, man.
I just want to add one last thing. They also called it ultrasound money. That, like, how do they make that shit up and pretend that it's real?
I could tell you.
They
also push fiat, bro. These are the same people pushing fiat, man. That's why they say that.
It's ridiculous. You got anyways, you have a centralized entity pushing out all the rules, and they're going to sit there and try to claim that it's ultrasound money. Anyway, it's always so cringe and so pathetic.
I'm calling it right now. The powers in the establishment are going to push Ethereum hard because they can control it. When I saw that, and it was a combined effort. It was Reuters, it was Bloomberg. They got the CEO of Ethereum essentially to go on TV and say, "Listen, this is better energy, man. We're in for a fight, baby." But this is the then they fight you stage. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by a fellow pleb. You can go follow him at hodl South. South African hodl. I like that. Anyways, let's check out the meme. When the guy sitting next to you starts talking about his crypto portfolio.
This is accurate.
This is accurate as hell, man. Shout out to Hodl South. Definitely go follow him. That was an awesome meme. Because that was an awesome meme, I'm going to give it the American flag. Woo! Anyways, what about you, Phil?
Oh my gosh. Quite the patriotic score. I like that. I like it a lot. All right. I am going with, I did enjoy it, and I do totally feel that, absolutely. And with that, I am going with a multi-card reader. Yep, you can read all the crappy little cards you got.
Another one of Phil's gadgets. I like it, though. Anyways, Bobo Dread, what would you give that meme?
Man, that one hit me close to home because I'm a nomad, so I travel a lot on planes. So if that happened to me, ooh, that one hit hard. So I would give that one a 3/4 blurred spliff and a broken lighter together. That's a good one. That's a strong
That's awesome. One. We've never gotten one of those.
Dude, that's one of the best memes we've ever got. I mean, best scores that we've ever got on Simply Bitcoin. Wow. But and guys, listen, this is why it's important for Bitcoiners to have parachutes on airplanes, just in case there's a shitcoiner sitting next to you and you have to use the emergency exit. That's a joke. I'm kidding. But anyways, guys, do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments. And of course, join our Telegram group. Link us some memes to review because it's a meme review. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, guys. Remember yesterday when I had that total brain fart about that cool stuff that's coming to Lightning from Roast Beef? We've got the hash rate picking up. We got the users picking up. We've got Lightning Network picking up, right? And I think I feel like I saw a really interesting tweet from Roast Beef today about something that's coming to Lightning. I'm so drawing a blank. The memory address I was trying to reach is unavailable. So he's talking about, and we're going to give a link to this in the show notes so the people that know way more than us can go and dig into this and get really excited about it. But here we go. Today we're excited to announce the release of our draft of a specification for Lightning Service Authentication Tokens, LSAT. LSAT is a new protocol standard for authentication and paid APIs using the internet's preferred currency, SATs. That's right, doesn't take a shitcoin to work on tech. They can just work on the tech. Anyways, developed by Lightning Labs, awesome, which leverages the widely underused HTTP 402 payment required status code. LSATs can serve both as authentication as well as payment mechanism. One can view it as a ticket of sorts for paid APIs. I'm going to have that down below in the show notes.
All right, everybody, check out this bullish news. A lot of signal, but a lot of noise. I'll get to the signal in a bit. Check out this article from Bitcoin Magazine. Bitcoin transfer volume now exceeds $15.8 trillion. Holy cow. Bitcoin, the world's most valuable cryptocurrency, recently saw its total transfer volume exceed $15.8 trillion for the first time in less than 7 months of the year. That's the signal, right? That's the signal right there. Its total transfer volume exceeded 15.8 trillion for the first time in less than 7 months. This means Bitcoin's transfer volume currently represents 70% of the United States domestic product of approximately 22 trillion. Furthermore, Bitcoin's transfer volume has already surpassed the world's largest entire economy, 2010 and 2011 GDP of 15 trillion and 15.5 trillion. I can't say that word, but yeah. Thank you, Phil. So you guys get the point, right? And this goes back to what I was saying, and what I was saying a couple days ago. And I'm just going to read you one of Samson Mao's tweets, right? And this kind of defeats the shitcoin narrative, right? As Samson Mao points out, Bitcoin moves nearly $500,000 in volume around the globe permissionlessly every second. It was never about transactions per second and coffee. That's what Lightning does. It's all about value transacted per second and a new financial paradigm, right? So this is incredible, man. The fact that we are able to transfer that much value without having to ask anybody for permission, and it's so much value that it exceeded the GDP of the US in 2010, 2011. Like, that is absolutely mind-blowing. And here's an example by documenting BTC. Check out this transaction that happened recently. It was an 11,203 Bitcoin transaction, essentially $428 million, and it was sent only for $82.90. Now tell me, what other network can do that? None.
No wonder the banks hate us.
Of course they hate us. This is Bitcoin is a cancer. It's a terminal disease for central banks. We've been saying this, right? But this is absolutely mind-blowing. And this is, right, a network, I might add, that is only 12 years old. Absolutely freaking mind-blowing. Phil?
Speechless. No, I'm kidding. I mean, look, that is absolutely amazing, right? I think that's totally crazy to when you really sit down to think about this, $15.8 trillion transacted. And what Samson said is very important, right? It's about the value transacted. Look at that, man. $428 million transacted for $82. Doesn't that just make everybody sick to their stomach when you think of how much how much you've spent in Western Union fees and stuff like that, to maybe send money abroad. I know that doesn't happen to everybody, but even back in the day, if you did eBay, because I'm an old man, and you pretty much, you had PayPal, and if you didn't have PayPal, you would go in Western Union the money. And let me tell you, man, paid a lot of fees buying a lot of collectibles doing it with Western Union. So, you know what? This is what I said before. This is one of the reasons that the banks hate us, right? This is one of the reasons that the banks hate Bitcoin. Look at what it's able to do. And it's able to do this without their ridiculous governance and all of the stupid regulations that they put all around that simply hamper the average person from being able to send value as quickly and as cheaply as possible and as safely as possible, right? I mean, that's beautiful. I think that's absolutely amazing. To me, I consider the fee that we pay, right, when we send a transaction. I know that people, complain a lot, right? That the fees and this and that. And it's what? First of all, the fees really aren't that bad. None of us are really calculating what the cost is to us of us offsetting this responsibility to the banks for all of these years. Look at the cost. Look at what we've done. Look at the money printing. Look at the situation we're in. This is the cost, really? You know what? I'll gladly pay the fucking price for Bitcoin transactions. I don't care.
Absolutely.
I never have a problem with it. I know you don't either.
Amen. Bobo?
Man, that one gave me chills because, for one, yes, Western Union, it's not just a couple of years ago or several years ago on eBay. It's today. Nico knows this. People send their money via Western Union when they're sending them back to their families in Jamaica or Venezuela or anywhere else around the world that doesn't have, American bank accounts that they can access. So today they're raping us, so this is going to kill, crush, burn Western Union to the ground, burn MoneyGram to the ground, burn TransferWise to the ground, burn all of them to the ground. And no one's going to want to use them because of how badly they've treated us in the past. So that's exciting. And then on top of that, it's like the greed factor. Like I'm excited because when big bankers and even big nation states, when they're settling between each other and they realize, holy shit, we sent $500 million the other day to London and we had to pay, whatever millions of dollars to ship it across the ocean in gold or in cash or, to secure it with security. They're going to realize that if they can use it too, they can get more money. The greed incentive is good. And that's going to make Bitcoin win and crush them all. I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
Man, it's man, to steal Corey's line, it's an amazing line. It's a bright orange future. But anyways, we brought our guest today to talk about this awesome thing that I had to leave Bitcoin kindergarten yesterday early because I didn't want to hear about it because I wanted to be surprised for the show. Anyways, let me pull it up. It is called plebnet.satoshi.tech. So Bobo, this is freaking awesome. What is this, bro? Look at this.
Man, it's amazing. Like there is a pleb in plebnet called Felix. He runs the website plebnet. He runs satoshis.tech and he made this for us. I don't even know what programming language he used. Like he made a 3D visualization of every pleb in plebnet, and you can drag it around. If you click it and spin it, you can spin it like a globe. You can zoom in and find your own node. You can see how many. It's so cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you're not going to do much with it except spin it and look at it and be cool, but it's cool. Like it's one way to see how we're growing. We started off as just a group of 10 people in plebnet, in Clubhouse trying to connect nodes and set up Raspberry Pis. And look at it now. I can't even count how many nodes are in here. There are over 3,000 people in the Telegram group.
Some of these people on the outskirts need some liquidity.
Yeah, for real.
Guys are like in the middle of nowhere. Someone get some channels out to them.
Man, so this
is amazing.
This looks like a universe or like a galaxy.
I love it.
Right? Like, am I the only one to see this? It's like it's like a connection, man. I don't know, man. It's absolutely crazy. Holy cow! So you can
find such a good analogy.
So
I think I have to say this. I think if the aliens saw this, right? I think if they saw this, they'd be like, all right, maybe we'll talk to humanity again. I'm serious, like trust me, we've already pissed them off enough times. Like I'm sure like they're like, all right, these people are fools. But we show them this, we show them Bitcoin, they're like, all right, we'll talk.
So I'm looking at this. Oh, this is so beautiful. When it says buy me a coffee, I'm gonna go back to Samsung's tweet where he mentioned this. He says it was never about transactions per second in coffee. Well, guess what? Like I said earlier, Lightning fixes that problem, baby. And this is definitely for coffee. But yeah, man, this is a crazy visualization, and it just gives me a deep appreciation of the Lightning Network. But not only that, right? This tells me how fucked banks are. So yeah, man, fucked. They're super fucked. And man, shout out. So who was the creator, Bobo?
He doesn't even have a Twitter account. He's just a real low-key pleb, that just stacks Bitcoin, and his name is Felix. So shout out to Felix. You the man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Felix. That's an incredible visualization, man. I have no idea how you did it, but it looks awesome. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases.
Okay. Looks like we've got fully noted again. I feel like we just did a software release for them.
They updated it again.
Yeah, they updated. All right. So we've got fully noted version 0.2, the 23 that was released, and that is a Bitcoin node. Link to that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. But before we go, I want to give a shout out to our awesome guest and a good friend of mine. We've had some good times together. You can go follow him at Pole Vault Dream. And definitely go check out his new podcast. You could find it on his website, One Love Bitcoin. And if you want to go on YouTube, you could find it also on YouTube. You go to the Swan Bitcoin channel. Shout out to our friends at Swan. And again, you look for his podcast. It's called One Love Bitcoin Podcast. Definitely recommend it. Bobo's a good friend of mine. He's an awesome Bitcoiner. He's a true hardcore pleb, traveling the world and meeting all these different Bitcoiners. But anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fiat shitcoin fails, PhD economists, all of them, and the blue check marks, all combined, and the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Parachute maximalism is okay.